It's October 28, 2016. I'm bringing news on China says Japan's military endangers Chinese aircraft. Alright, so Japan's out there, Russia and Japan's trying to make peace. They haven't made peace since World War II. Alright, and Russia needs Japan to back them up so their relationships in the Asian Pacific is more dominant. Alright, even though Russia and China are allies to the end of World War III happens, there aren't going to be no more countries. They want the superpowers wiped out. Alright, you got China, Russia, United States, Europe, Japan. Those are the world's 5 superpowers. Alright, Japan wants their islands back. During World War II, before that, Japan was humongous. Or just like we were seeing Russia going back to Soviet times, that's a whole different story. But since Russia's going back to Soviet times, it's trying to gain back their land that they once owned. You know what I'm saying? Japan's trying to do the same thing. Alright? You got sanctions on Russia, you got sanctions on China, sanctions on North Korea. So we're pushing these countries to World War III. The reason China and Russia is in Syria is because they get all their oil and gas from Syria. Alright? And if we stop Syria, boom, we control their supply. So China's in the South Chinese Sea trying to regain the island called Senkaku. Alright, Senkaku. Alright? And I'm going to get into it. And it's not just China, it's Japan too. Because these islands got minerals. These islands also is a big thing on oil. They could get a lot of oil from there. So they ain't got to rely on Syria. The world's economy is crashing. When the world's economy is crashing like this, countries are going to go to war to regain power, to regain strength. Always been like that through the beginning of time. So let's get into this. Excuse me. Chinese defense minister on Thursday accused Japan's Air Force jets of locking their radars onto Chinese military aircraft, acting provocatively and endangering safety after Japan said it is scrambling a record number of fighter jets. China and Japan have long been mired in a territorial dispute over a group of tiny uninhabitable East China Sea's island called the Senkaku in Japan's and the Diaoyu in China. Alright. Patrol ships and fighter jets from Asia's 2 biggest economies have been shadowing each other on and off near the islets, raising fears that a confrontation could result in a clash. In the 6 months ending in September, Japanese fighters scrambled and chased Chinese planes 407 times compared with 231 times in the same period last year. The Japanese Air Self-Defense Force said in mid-October an increase of about 3/4. So, Chinese said that Japan's Air Self-Defense Force said in mid-October that Chinese increased about 3/4. Chinese Defense Minister spokesman Wang Quan said Chinese Air Force's activities accord with international laws and norms, and that it was Japan which was increasing its monitoring and interfering in normal training exercise. What is more, when aircraft of the Japan Self-Defense Force encounter Chinese aircraft, their radars lit up. The light of infrared jamming projectiles and show other unprofessional, dangerous, provocative behavior, Wu said at the monthly briefing. This endangers the safety of Chinese aircraft and personnel, and is the root of China-Japan maritime and air problem. China urges Japan to adopt a responsible attitude and prevent such incidents from happening, he said. Japan worries that China's increase its control over the South China Sea. It is turning its attention to expanding its influence in the East China Sea and into the Western Pacific. And the rest goes on repeating. Alright, so China wants the Senkaku Islands. Alright, folks. And the people that control the Senkaku Islands is Japan. Alright, that is Japan's rightful property. Alright, and here, this is the Senkaku Islands. As we scroll down, alright, who used to own it during World War II, before World War II, Japan owned it. Alright, found the discovery potential undersea oil reserves in 1968 in the area, and the 1971, the transfer of administrative control from the United States to Japan. The latter's sovereignty over the territory is disputed by both the People's Republic of China and the Republic of China. So not just China's claim this island, the Republic of China too. That's Taiwan. Alright. And after World War II, America was in control of these islands. Alright, 1968, they found oil and oil reserves underneath. Alright. And we gave it back to Japan. Alright, and we signed a letter. So Japan owned these islands. And now China wants these islands back, as they're gaining control in the superpower race around the world, including Russia, Japan, China, UK, and United States of America. China doesn't want United States of America to do nothing, but since we used to own it and we gave it to Japan, alright, it's Japan's property. Alright, now China is in the heated battle because of Syria. Alright, Syria, that's where they get the majority of their oil, about 80%. Russia gets about 60%. The other 40% comes from their own country in Russia and the Kuril Islands, where Japan and Russia are battling out, but now they're trying to have peace. But China ain't got no second choice other than Syria, Iran, they get a little bit of oil too from, but these I forgot the name. It's kind of hard to pronounce. The Senkaku Islands, China wants so they could get their oil reserve. Because if Syria falls, and that's what the West wants, that's what us in the West want, then we control their oil supply. And that's the truth. If we control Russia and Chinese oil supply, we basically won the war. Alright? So China is having backup plans just in case of this. Alright? And we could see the movements happening. Alright. The Empire of Japan also want these islands definitely back, and even though they're in control, but they also want a lot of their land back. Alright, this is the Empire of Japan in 1942, before the end of World War II. Japan was a big country. Alright, they had an empire. Alright, they still got an Empire of Japan, but the only thing the Empire of Japan do is pick who's going to be the prime minister and the court. Alright, so they got the object of that. So Japan is putting their influences back in Asia Pacific too. Alright, so you got China, Russia, and Japan and Asia scrambling to become the #1 superpower of Asia. Alright, Japan's protecting its island that they own, that we gave them, the United States of America gave them. And China ain't got no other oil reserve if Syria or Iran fall, and they know it's coming, so they're trying to put pressure on Japan, and they want these islands since it's near China. Alright, we got more news to come. This is the No Face Moon. Please rate, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook. This is the No Face Movement. Until next time, facing off.